Ferrari 308 GT4 Short Review. Unfairly regarded as the ugly duckling of the Ferrari family for many years, the 308 GT4 has finally come of age. We check out the Wedgie V8. The GT4's 2-2 layout makes this a very practical and comfortable Ferrari, with longer front seat adjustment than the two-seaters. By placing the front seats well forward, Bertone made room for two children, or one sideways seated adult, in the rear, while the compact engine transaxle package left space behind the engine bay for a luggage compartment. 4 twin choke Webers make starting unforgettable too. Well, it is a Ferrari, after all. As Ferraris go, then, the 308 GT4 is surprisingly practical, while its classic status is growing, and you'd have to be mad to argue with that 3-litre, quad-cam, all-alloy V8 punching out 250 bhp. It gives this 1,326 kg four-seater a fair turn of speed, and handling on the all-independent suspension is perfectly respectable, with a longer wheelbase than two-seater cars, calming the potential for those scary mid-engined mid-corner moments. Whatever your views on the looks, you can't argue with the power, the noise, the handling, or the heritage. Vital statistics. 1973 308 GT4. Engine 2,927 cc. Top speed 154 miles per hour. 0 to 60 miles per hour 6.9 seconds. Consumption 19.8 mpg. What to look for. Bodywork. The bonnet and boot lid are made of aluminium, but the rest of the panels are steel over a stretched 246 GT chassis, also prone to corrosion, so check that thoroughly too. Rear wheel arches rot, along with most of the lower panels such as the sills, valances and quarter panels. Likewise the lower edges of the doors, especially if the drain holes have become clogged, meaning they rot from the inside out. Engine. 308 engines are known to be strong and usually last well. The compact and powerful motor can sit at the red line all day long and love it. As long as there's plenty of quality oil in it, it won't let you down. The two-valve engines had sodium-filled exhaust valves to dissipate heat. As they get old, the valves can become brittle. Some owners have had issues with these valves breaking, leading to the need for an engine rebuild in the worst cases. Electrics. Radiators can become silted up if the system isn't flushed often enough, made worse when the fans do not come on because of electrical issues, so check both. Another very common problem is that the cooling system has not been bled properly, and this almost always results in a car that runs too hot or overheats completely. Because the engine is in the back and the radiator in the front, the system has to be bled at both ends. Carburetor-fed cars are known for their relatively weak spark due to the points-based ignition system, meaning plug fouling is common. Many owners run a hotter plug than the owner's manual recommends. NGKBP5ES is the most popular to cut down on this. Others use a hotter coil, though this can be hard on the points. Fitting electronic ignition is the best way to address the issue. No fouling. Better combustion, a more solid idle and lower emissions. The electric windows on these cars are terrible, thanks to a combination of a lousy design involving cables and pulleys, a weak motor and wear and tear. Most operate extremely slowly. Many people attempt to fix it by lubing the window tracks or even replacing the motors, but neither usually works. The problem is grease in the gearbox that connects the electric motor to the cable system. Over time it hardens, and the resistance makes it almost impossible for the motor to turn the mechanism. The solution is to take it all apart, clean out the old hardened grease with a solvent, and replace it with fresh lithium grease. A time-consuming job, but it works wonders. Running gear. The 308's transmission is notoriously notchy and can be especially reluctant to go into second gear when cold. The gated shifter can be tricky to get used to, but it's pleasingly positive once warm though. Clutches don't last very long, perhaps 20,000 miles. Suspension bushings are a common wear item on 308s. After 30 years, the original rubber bushings will be either cracked and shredded, or horribly perished. Fortunately, polyurethane versions are now available, which are much better than the originals. The electrical systems are notoriously weak, but this seems to be mostly due to the badly designed fuse box, which can be replaced or upgraded to an improved aftermarket version. My verdict: most classic car enthusiasts have fantasized about owning a Ferrari at some point in their life. The 308 GT4 offers a lusty V8 engine. Housed in an exotic mid-mounted fashion, yet it's a machine that's frequently scoffed at. As a result, you can pick one up for less than £15,000, and there's even space in the back to bring the kids along for the ride. Well, as long as they're very small. The 308 GT4 was both the debut mid-engine V8 from Ferrari and a slap in the face for Pininfarina, which previously assumed it had the Maranello design gig sewn up. The Bertone-styled 308 was badged as a dyno for the first 3 years of its life, and the 2.2 layout and wedge profile were controversial to say the least. Trim is typically 70s, including Fiat by 1/9 door handles, but the dashboard, with its toggles and sliders, is like a blaxploitation movie mixing desk. The 308 GT4 is sneered at by Ferrari snobs, but pay them no heed, it's actually a pretty cool car. There are 2 reasons why the GT4 has always been seen as a lesser Ferrari, those opinion-polarizing Bertone lines, and the fact that it's a 4-seater. Proper, Ferraris should not have space for 4 and must be designed by Pininfarina, or that's what the infamous, they, would have you believe. But don't believe the hype. This car looks great, handles brilliantly and is as fast as you are ever going to need. Yet a decent one will cost you no more than a 2-year-old Rietmobile, which will continue to shed value faster than yesterday's newspapers. It is imperative to get an expert to look over a prospective purchase to ensure it's as good as it seems. If it is, snap it up and enjoy before prices start to follow the 308 and 328 GTB, GTS.